Sometimes ago, I did a tutorial on how to build a GraphQL server using Apollo server and AdonisJs. Today, I'm going to show you how to build a blog app that will make use of the GraphQL server that was built in that tutorial. This blog app will be built using Apollo client and Vue.js. Before we get started, you will need to get the code for the GraphQL server. If you followed along from the tutorial, you still need to get this code as some modification has been made to it. Once we've gotten the code, the next thing to do is to enable calls on the server. To do this, we'll open the calls.js file, which is under the config directory. As you can see, I've gone ahead to set the origin to true, which means calls has been enabled. By default, this will be false. So setting it to true means we've enabled calls on the server. And that is all we have to do for the purpose of this tutorial. We can now start building the blog app. We'll start by creating a new Vue application. We'll make use of the Vue CLI. We'll call the app GraphQL blog app. Go with the default. Yes, we want Vue router. Yes, we want length. Go with standard. No unit testing. No end-to-end test. Yes, npm install. Once the dependencies are done installing, we can cd into the project directory and start the app to make sure everything is working as expected. This will start a Webpack dev server with auto reload and build up the app. Now the application is running on localhost port 8080. As you can see, everything is working as expected. So now we can begin to flesh out the application. We will leave the app running and open the project in our preferred code editor. I'll be using VS Code. Like I said earlier, we're making use of Apollo client, and to use it in a Vue application, we need to install the Vue Apollo plugin. So we'll head over to the Vue Apollo repository and check out how to install the plugin. We'll go to the installation section. I'll grab this code. Head back to our editor. Then paste. I'm going to cancel this because I want to add one more dependency, which is Apollo link context. With that install, we can begin to set up the Vue Apollo plugin. We'll head over to the Vue Apollo repository to see how to set up the plugin. We import the dependency first. We'll add it inside the main.js file. Immediately Vue, where we import Vue. Then grab this and paste. So what we are doing here is we create an HTTP link providing the URL to our GraphQL server. My GraphQL server will be running on localhost port 3333/GraphQL. So if yours is different from mine, you should update this. Next, we create an Apollo client using the HTTP link created. I will specify we want an in-memory cache. We'll be needing this. Then we install the plugin. The next thing we need to do is to create an Apollo provider. Copy this, then paste below. So this, we create an Apollo provider using the Apollo client created above. So all we have to do next is to specify this support provider in our Vue instance. So once that is added, we are done setting up this Apollo plugin. So we can start using it in our components. For styling our blog app, we'll be making use of Boomer CSS framework. So we'll be referencing it on the CDN. Copy this and copy the whole link tag. Then pun index.html. Then paste it in. Once that is added, we should take a moment to remove the unnecessary file that was added when we created our Vue app. You will notice there is an hello world component which is referenced inside our router. So we'll delete these files. And also remove the reference to it in on our route. Having done that, so let's begin to mark up our app. Open the app component. We'll remove all this as we won't be needing them again. Then remove reference to the image. So we are going to create a navbar. We'll make use of the Boomer navbar component. This navbar will contain just one link, which will be the link to the blog's homepage. We will make use of Vue router. Then we'll add a CSS class of navbar item. Now we can start adding features to the app. The first feature we'll add is the ability for users to sign up. For that, we'll create a sign up component. This sign up component will be created inside an admin folder. The admin folder will be inside the components directory. So let's create the admin folder. Then inside the admin folder, we'll create the sign up component. That is signup.vue. Before we start fleshing out the sign up component, let's create a dedicated file that will hold our GraphQL queries and mutations. We'll create this file directly inside the source folder. I will call it GraphQL.js. So this file will hold all our queries and mutations, so it will be easier for us to reference whenever we need them. Inside this GraphQL.js file, first we import the GraphQL tag package. We'll start by creating the sign-up mutation. The queries and mutations will be stored as constants. So this will make use of the mutation on our GraphQL server. The sign-up mutation accepts 3 arguments. First one, which is the username, which will be a string. and it is required. Then an email address, which is also a string and required. Lastly, a password, which is also a string and required. Create user is the name of the mutation on our GraphQL server. So we'll pass to it the username, the email, and the password. Then we'll specify what we want to return once the mutation is performed. So we want to return the ID of the user, the username, and the email address. That is all for the signup mutation. Like I said, the actual name of the mutation is create user. Signup mutation is just an operation name, which gives this mutation a more meaningful name. So now we can move on to create the signup component. We'll start with the template section. We're making use of Boomer CSS classes to mark up our template. We want the form to be centered on the page. So we'll do we'll add the page title dot has text centered sign up in the form. It's a method. I want the method to be post. Once the form is submitted, a sign up method will be called. The form will have 3 fields, which are the username field, the email field, and the password field. For the username, control, and the input field should be, we'll give it a class of input. Then we'll add the Vue model binding to the username data. We'll duplicate this a couple of times for the email and password fields respectively. Change this to email as well. Then the email data, this to password. Lastly, we'll add the sign up button. Sign up. Then we'll add some couple of classes. Should be button is primary, is full width, then is upper case. with that done, we can move on to the script section of our template. Give it a name of sign up. Then we import the sign up mutation from the GraphQL.js file. Mutation. Next, we define our data. Which contain the username, which should be empty by default, and the email address, which will be also empty by default. Then lastly, the password, which will be also empty. Remember, we said once this form is submitted, a sign up method will be called. So now let's define the sign up method. Inside the methods object, we'll create a sign up method, which for now just alerts a string. To test this sign up component, we need to create a sign up route, which will be added inside the router file. First, we import the component. Then inside the route array, we create our first route. The path will be /signup. Then we'll give it a name of sign up. Then lastly, the component, which will be sign up. So now we can test the sign up component. Now when we see the sign up route, we should see the sign up form, and once the form is submitted, we should get an alert. Before we start adding logic to the sign up method, let's quickly start the GraphQL server. AdonisJs serve-dev. Once the server is up and running, we can start adding the logic to the sign up method. We'll start by removing the alerts. Then we'll make use of the mutate method that is available on the Apollo object. Is Apollo.mutate. We'll pass to it the mutation, which is sign up mutation. Then we'll pass in the variables, should be the username, this username, then the email, email, lastly the password. Once the sign up is successful, we will redirect the user to the login page. Redirect user to login. This dot router dot replace. They'll pass in the login route. Before we test the sign up component, let's create the login component as well. Inside the admin folder, we'll create a new login.vue file. Just like the sign up component, we'll also create the login mutation. The login mutation will be somehow similar to the sign up mutation. So we are going to duplicate this. Then change this to login mutation. Login mutation. This accepts two arguments, the email address and the user password. Then the mutation is login. With this mutation will return a JSON web token. Now we can move on to the login component. This component will be similar to the signup component. So we'll grab the code for the signup component and paste it in. Then we'll make some modification. This will be the login, and then a login method will be called. We'll take out the username field. We'll change this to login. Change this to the login mutation. This will be login. Take out the username data. The method will be login. Login as well. Take out the username. Once the login is successful, we'll save user's token to local storage. It will be local storage.set item. So give it a name of blog app token, then response data login. Finally, we direct user to the admin/post route. Next, we'll add the login route. We'll duplicate this, change it to login, then we'll add the route. The path will be /login. The name will be login. Then the components will be login. So now we can test both the signup and the login components. So we'll create a new user. Call him John Doe at example.com. We'll give him a password. So once the user is now we can log in as a user. John Doe at example.com, then password. Once the login is successful, we'll be redirected to the admin./post route, which does not exist yet. We'll create that shortly. Now we can start building the admin section. But before we start fleshing out the admin part, let's create a menu component which will serve as the sidebar navigation menu. We'll close this one out. Then inside the admin folder, we'll create a new menu.view file. The menu component will contain just the template section. Again, we'll be making use of Boomer CSS classes. The first link will be the link to create a new post. Making use of Vue router should be /admin/post/new. It will be new post. Then the link to display our post /admin/post. This will be post. So we do the same for the user. So grab this, then paste. This will be user, we'll get rid of this. Then this will be /users. Then this will be users. Now we can move on to the admin section. We'll start by creating a component to display all users. Inside the admin folder, we'll create a new users.view file. We'll start by creating the GraphQL query first. Let's collapse this and this. So we'll create a new GraphQL query, which we will call all users query. Then we'll give the query a name of all users query. Then the actual query is all users. Then once this query is performed, we want to return the user ID, the username, and the email address. So now with that done, we can move on to the users component. Now make use of the menu component we created. Then give the page a title. So the title this will be users. Then we'll create a table to display all the users. This will be the username, the email. Then we'll move on to the table body. So we'll loop through all the users in the all users array. User and all users. Then the key will be user.id. Display the username, then the user email. Lastly, a link to view users details. This will be bound to /admin /users/ the ID of the particular user I want to view. User.id. This will be view. Next, we'll create the script section. Give it a name of users. Then we'll import the menu component. /admin /menu Then we'll import the all users query from /GraphQL all users query. Next, we'll add in the component. The menu. Next, we define data for this component, which will be all users. It should be an empty array by default. Next, we define the query inside an Apollo object. It should be all users. Then the query will be all users. It is important to note that this all users object and all users data must match the name of our GraphQL query. The next thing we want to do is to add the user's route. So duplicate this, change this to users. Next, we'll create the route. The path will be /admin/users. The name will be users, and the component will be users. Now we should be able to see a list of all users that have signed up when we visit the admin/users route. We'll go to admin/users. We add a link to view users details, which we have not implemented yet. So now let's implement it. We'll start by creating the GraphQL query, which we will call user query. Then we'll give it a name of user query. This query will accept a single argument, which will be the ID of the user we want to view. It will be an integer and it is required. The query name is user. Then we'll pass in the argument ID. Then once the user is queried, we want to return the ID, user name, the email, and the user's post. Next, we'll create a user details component. View. Since all admin section will follow the same layout, so we are going to copy users component, then paste it in. So this will be user details. We'll take out the table. This input will be read only. Then we'll add a class of input is static. Then we'll bound the value to the username. So we're going to duplicate this some couple of times. This will be change this to email address. This to email, and this will be number of posts, and this will be user.post.length. So we are simply displaying basic information about the user, the username, the user email, and the number of posts that the user has created. So next we'll go to the script section. We'll update this to user query, and this will be user details. Then we'll update the data. This will be user, which will be an empty string by default. Then we'll define an ID, which will be the user ID gotten from the route parameter. .id. Then fetch user by ID. So this will be user. This will be user query. Because the user ID is gotten from the route parameters, we need a way to pass this ID to our query. To do this, we'll make use of reactive parameter by defining a variables function. that returns an object containing the user ID. Next, we'll add the user's details route. Okay, we'll duplicate this, the user details. Then we'll add the route. The path will be /admin /users / the ID of the user. The name will be user details. Then the components will be user details. Now we should be able to view a user details. Here we go. The next thing we want to add is the ability for users to create new posts. The GraphQL server is structured in such a way that only authenticated users can add new posts. So we need a way to pass an authentication header with the user token along with the request to add new post. This will signify that the user is actually logged in and hence can create new posts. We can attach an authentication header to our request using the Apollo link context package. To do this, we'll edit the main.js file. We will create a kind of auth middleware, but first we need to import the Apollo link context package. Apollo link context. Then we'll import the set context object. Now we can start creating the auth middleware. This will make use of the set context object that we'll import. We'll get the user token from local storage if it exists. .get item be blog -app -token. Then we'll return the headers to the context so the HTTP link can read them. Return headers. We're using the spread operator. Then we'll add the authorization header. If the token is present, we'll attach the token to it. Token. If not, it will be null. The last thing to do is to update the Apollo client to make use of this auth link. So it will be auth link.concat HTTP link. Now an authorization header will be sent along with all requests made to our GraphQL server. We can now move on to adding new posts. We will start by creating the GraphQL mutation for adding new posts. We'll call it add post mutation. Add post mutation. This accepts two arguments. The first one is the title of the post, which is a string and is required. Then the content, which is also a string and it is required. The name of the mutation is add post. They will pass in the title. And the content. Then once the mutation is performed, we want to return the ID of the post, the slug, the title, the content and the user that created the post, the ID of the username, and the email. With this done, let's create a add post component. Create it inside the admin folder. Add post. Then we'll copy this, then paste it in. This will be add post. Then we'll get rid of the table. Then we'll add the form for creating new post. Once the form is submitted, an add post method will be called. This form will have two fields. The field to enter the post title, then the field to enter the post content. This will be the title. Then the field, the input. Then we'll give it the class of input. Then we'll bind it to the title data. We'll copy this and duplicate it for the content field. This will be content. This will be a text area. Add a class of text area. We'll bind it to the content data. Lastly, we'll add the submit button. Add post. Adding the class of button and is primary. Then we'll move on to the script section. This will be the add post mutation. Then this will be add post. Then our data will be title, which will be empty by default. Then the content, which will be also empty by default. Then we'll get rid of this and create the add post method. This dot apollo dot mutate we'll pass in the mutation, which is add post mutation. Then pass in our variables, which will be the title. This dot title. Then content, this dot content. Once the post is created successfully, we'll redirect to the admin/post route. This dot router dot replace admin/admin/posts. Next, we'll add in the route to add new post. We'll duplicate this, change it to add post. Then we'll add in a new route. The path will be /admin /admin/post/new. Then the name will be add post, then the component to be add post. Now we can test this out. And this is the form to add new post. Let's create a new post, sample title, some text. As you can see, we are redirected back to the admin/post route, which does not exist yet. We'll create that shortly. Now let's display all posts. Again, we'll start by creating the GraphQL query for fetching all posts. Then inside the GraphQL.js file, we'll copy the all users query. Then change this to all posts. Then this will be all post query. Also this will be all post. Then we want to return the ID, the title of the post, the slug, the content, and the user that created the post. We will return the username of the user. Next, to create a post component inside the admin folder. Should be dot view. This will be pretty much the same as the users component. So we'll copy the code in, then paste it in. But this will be post. This will be title. Then user. Can get rid of this. Then we'll do post and all posts. This will be post.id, and this will be post.title. This will be post.username. We won't be needing this. Then we'll move on to the script section. This will be all post. Then this will be post. This will be post. Then this will be all post, as well as this. Next, we're adding the route to view all posts. We duplicate this. We post. Then create a new route. The path will be /admin/post. The name will be post. Then the components will be post. Now we should be able to see all posts that has been created. Here we have it. Before we move on, there is something I would like to point out. If we create a new post, and you notice that the post does not reflect here. At first, it will seem as if the post has been created, but it has. If we refresh this page, you will see the new post that has been created. As you can see, the problem is that Apollo client catches all our queries, in this case, in memory. So at the point of fetching these posts, Apollo client will fetch them and cache them in memory. So we need a way to update the cache whenever we perform mutation actions. To do this, we'll add an update function, which we'll use to update the store by adding the newly created post to cache. We'll add it inside the add post method immediately after the variable object. This will accept the store, then a data object, which will accept the newly created post. First, we will read the data from catch for the all post query. For this, we need to first import the all post query. All post query. Then constant the data store.read query. We'll specify the query we want to read, which will be the all post query. Then we'll add the newly created post to existing post. Data.all post.push add post. Finally, we write back to the catch. Store.write query. Specify the query, which should be all post query. So we'll pass in the data we want to write. Now we can test this out. Let's create a new post. As you can see here, the catch has been updated. Now let's create the blog home page. We will create a new home component directly inside the components folder. This component will be similar to the post component. In fact, it will make use of the exact same GraphQL query that was used to display our post. So we'll copy the code for the post component, grab everything, then paste it in. So we'll delete this and this. Then we'll create a new div. That is 6. That is offset -3. We're adding title of latest post. Next, we'll display all the posts in an H3 header. Title is 5 to make it a bit smaller. Then we'll loop through. Posting all posts. We'll give it a bind to the key. To be post.id. Then we'll add the post title, which will link to the post. This will be bound to the post slug. This will be post.title. Next, to move to the script section, we'll get rid of the menu component and change this to home. Everything else will remain the same. Next, we'll add in the home route. We'll duplicate this, and this will be home, and this will be /home. Then we're creating a new route. The path will be just /, which is the home page. Then the name will be home. Then the component will be home as well. Now, when we visit the home route, we should see our blog homepage with some posts displayed. When we visit the home route, here we go. The next and final thing we'll add is the ability to display individual blog posts. For that, we'll create a GraphQL query inside the GraphQL.js file. And we'll call it post query. GraphQL. We'll give it the name of post query. This accepts a single argument, which is the blog slug, which is a string, and it is required. The query name is post. Then we'll pass in the slug. Then when this query is performed, we want to return the ID of the post, the title of the post, the slug, the content, and the user that created the post. We'll display the ID of the user name, and the email of the user. Next, we'll create a single post component inside the components folder. Single post.view. We'll copy the code from the home page, as they are somehow similar, and paste it in. We'll get rid of all these. The first thing we'll do is display a link to go back to the blog home page. This will be to this slash route. I'm adding our class of button is link and is small. Then we'll call this back home. Next, we'll display the title of the post. The title, this will be post.title. Then the post content. This will be post.content. Then we'll move on to the script section. This will be the post query, and this will be a single post. Then we'll create a post data, which will be empty by default. Then we'll create a slug, which will be this post slug gotten from the route parameter. Params.slug. Then we'll update this to post. And the query will be post query. Then we'll create a variables function, just as we did when displaying user details. This will return an object that contains the post slug. This.slug. Lastly, we'll add the route for displaying single post. We'll duplicate this. This will be single post. Then we'll add in the route. This will be the last route in the array. The path will be slash column slug, which will represent the post slug. Then the name will be single post, and the component will be single post. Now we should be able to see a single post. Now clicking a post title will go to the post page. Our blog app is up and running. In this video, we have seen how to build a blog app with GraphQL, Apollo client and Vue.js. We also saw how to connect our front-end app to a GraphQL server. Thanks guys, and I hope you find this tutorial helpful.